Hello, 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 everybody. This is Pastor Lorenzo Evan with It Takes a Village podcast. Hope everybody's having a good day today and ready to hear some good information, some inspiring information. Of course, this is Cancer Awareness Month, and we did not want to not mention or recognize those who are either survivors or those who are, dealing with it, depending on the stage, the process they're in. But we wanted to acknowledge and give some real information from someone who have dealt with it, someone who can give more insight than I can. I've seen people who have dealt with it. I've seen people who have, had to go through all the different treatments and such, but I've never myself personally had to deal with it. So we just want to have a good time. Again, we always have someone that's informative, someone that's going to give us the real deal. And today we have, I guess, Evangelist Mary Chantre. Um, she's going to really, really enlighten us. Her testimony is so powerful. Just to know what she's been through, the ups and downs, to know that she is a true survivor in every sense of the word. And I'm very excited to be able to have her as a guest, to give you more encouragement and enlightenment on of the subject. I consider her to be a expert subject on this matter because of the testimony she has, and just to show how good God is in the midst of it. So we're gonna bring our guest on. One moment here. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing?
Hello, how are you? Doing
Good.
fine.
That's good. That's good. I'm just excited to be able to share your story again. Like I said, it's so many people that don't really understand or don't know, and they don't know that. Bless you. They don't know that they sometimes see people and have no idea or clue what they may be going through or have been through.
Yes.
Like you were saying, you don't look like what you've been through. So we're excited today just to be able to, um, to be able to discuss what you've been through and give some real, real information about it, because it takes a soldier, and your strong faith in God as well is definitely going to it be a good part, a good information as well to show how you stand when you're going through that. Let me check something. You with us, Ariana? Can you hear me?
Blessing, blessing.
81,
Okay.
81.
Okay, and everybody, this is Ariana Turner, my co-host, the communication queen, and she's going to join us. Do you have the bio, Anna?
Let me see if I actually had to use backup on my phone, so I'm not sure if it'll allow me to flip. But yes, actually, just a moment. I am excited to be able to share with our village, our guest today. Let me give me a moment, get it pulled up. Excellent. Excellent. And we have the honor of being, like Lorenzo shared with us, Pastor Lorenzo shared with us, Papa Zoe, we have the honor of Miss Mary being our guest today and sharing with us her story and her journey. And Miss Mary, I want to make sure I pronounce your last name proper. Is it Miss Chantre?
Chantre.
So, Village, I'm excited to share with you about Miss Mary Chantre. She was born in Wilmington, Delaware in 1953 to Mr. Russell T. Chapas,
Cephas,
Cephas,
in the Bible.
Cephas Sr., and Lucy Irene Cephas. Now they have both passed and gone on to be with the Lord, but their spirit and honor lives with Miss Mary. They were parents of the 19 children, 19 children, Village. That alone is an accomplishment. Her formative school years were at West High School in Rockford, Illinois, and Wilmington High School in Wilmington, Delaware. She gave her life to the Lord in 1971 and served in Prayer Temple Church for several years before she and her husband started their own ministry. God is good. Being able to serve is a beautiful thing, which she served there and co-pastored for well over 12 years before transitioning to Rockford, Illinois. There, she was called to be an evangelist, and Miss Evangelist Mary was licensed as a minister in the Mount Sinai Holy Church of America, Incorporated. She moved on to work in ministry at New Birth Ministry in Wilmington, Delaware. Under the pastor, Francine Bays, is it Bays?
Bays.
Pastor Francine Bays. Miss Mary presently serves in the ministry at Zion Gates Ministry in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa.
She shared in Tulsa,
Tulsa.
Oklahoma. Excellent. She reaches and shares her services with the homeless throughout her outreach ministries. There, she's able to serve within the food pantry and work with our youth, keeping on that honor and essence of her parents, serving many of you. She also serves as a greeter, and we all know how important our greeters are, welcoming in new souls to the Spirit and to feel God's love. She works in various organizations in and out of the church. And Miss Mary loves for people that takes her on to the mission field and really serve on the front lines. She has been in many places, and in every place, she loves to be able to meet new spirits and souls to bring to Christ. Miss Mary, we thank you for your service, your evangelism, and the fact that you are still able and willing to share your testimony so many others can understand the love of God. So I'm excited to hear today how you continue to do that. And Village, she also is an author. Miss Mary, would you share with us about some of the gifts that you've brought into for the Village?
Well, I am currently writing a book, and in my book is saying that all of my testimony is in there. And when God gives you an assignment, cancer can't stop it. So he's brought me through so much. And I thank God for 23 years or 24 years, I'm living to give my testimony. So I appreciate Pastor Evans having me on his podcast today.
Yeah, because we want people to know, especially since this, everybody is trying to give honors this month. And the thing I say is we should give honors every month, not just 1 month out of the year, because it's a lot when you go through it, and it takes a village.
Yes.
For all that you do, all that you go through. You had gave me some of your testimony, and after I got off the phone, I was just sitting in awe to think that someone could go through that much and still have a smile on their face. I would have never known if you hadn't said it, I would have never known what you've been through or are going through, because it's something that you have to deal with,
Yes. And that's why when you was in Sunday school, I said, I don't look like what I've been through. And I just had to share that Sunday with the class.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because you've been through a lot, and you say you've been dealing with this for how many years now? You say 24?
23, almost 24 years.
Yes, and just that is a blessing, because I've had several members of my family who have was not, they dealt with it, and usually my sister, I think we found out then 2 years later she had passed away. My brother, when we found out, he passed away about 2 years later. So to hear you say it's 23, almost 24 years, that's a blessing.
Yes.
And we first want to give honor and praise to God for the blessing that he has given you. And when God gives you a gift like that, you have to share it with others. So let's start with this. When you first found out, from the day one when you found out that they told you that you was diagnosed with cancer, how did that day go? How did that day happen?
Well, I was currently teaching school. I taught special ed in Newark, Delaware. And when I got my results in, um, I was down at the nurse's office and they told me that I had definitely had breast cancer and it was two multiple lumps and it was just about in stage 4. So that was something to experience. It. I was shocked, but I had
Mhm.
found a little twinge in my chest Easter weekend when I was washing dishes. And I felt it. And I said, this is something tender. And by the time I found it, and May 10th, they had removed my breasts because it had grew that fast. And it even spread in my lymph nodes, 18 lymph nodes up under my arm and in my chest wall.
That's, and I hope the people are listening, because you said stage 4. That was
Yes,
almost 24 years ago,
yes.
and you're still here. That is just such a testimony. It's such a powerful testimony. And like you say, you're a very beautiful lady. You don't look like what you've been through. Because I know you gave me some in-depth information, and I was like, wow, you would just never know. And you have such a pleasant, welcoming smile. That's what I don't want people to miss. That you're standing here smiling, thankful, and you're giving your testimony. So that's very powerful. So then they give you the diagnosis, and who was the first person that you called to say, hey, let me give you this information, outside of the people that you may have worked with or whatever.
Um, I told my sister, which was my pastor at that time, Pastor Francine Bays. And
Hmm.
at that time I was married and I called my husband and told him. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't let my family know until later.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Wow. And I know a lot of times, things like that happen, you have to deal with it the way that's best for you so that you can get the best out of it. I know a lot of times things like that happen and it can be very devastating. Where did you draw your strength from to deal with that without letting that take you to a deep, dark depression where you just gave up? What gave you that tenacity to hold on?
Well, when I began to pray about it, the Spirit of the Lord had already informed me that I'm going to see you through. So I had that assurance down in my spirit that God was going to see me through, although I did not know any of the processes and the different sicknesses and all the hospital stays and all the surgeries. I didn't even have a clue what I was going to be facing. But I knew that God says, I'm going to see you through this.
Wow.
Miss Mary, that in itself is very powerful because I too have had some family members who have had to walk the journey of walking through breast cancer. And I understand very little about it, but I do know that it can be a battle just in your mind itself, staying encouraged, staying motivated, because it's a scary journey. And we talk about stage 4, there are a number of stages that people can be in having this experience. Can you share with the village what some of those stages are?
Well, there are 4 different stages of cancer, and stage 4 is the last stage that takes thousands of women out of this world. But I still knew that my potential that I had in me, that God says it's not over. And so, knowing that and my faith in God, I just stood firm on the word and believed just what he spoke to me and said, I'm going to see you through. And the thing about it, most women do not try to catch it at an early stage. And it didn't have to go that far, but I didn't. feel anything, or I had just had a full mammogram less than 7 months before I found I had a knot. So it can creep up on you. So that's why it's important to have self examinations.
And I like that you said that because it's a few things. One, like you say, you was doing everything you're supposed to do. You getting your
Mhm.
checkups and all
Yeah,
that. And in the span of 7 months, you go from getting a checkup where you think everything is fine to stage 4.
right. And
And
it was because of medication that I was taking. Um, and I had a full hysterectomy, and then they gave me a certain medicine, not knowing that this medicine will cause breast cancer.
mm,
And so that's how I end up catching it.
Wow. It seemed like you were diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer.
Yes.
And you were still in line and doing things right by the general terms, seeing a doctor regularly, having exams, taking the medications prescribed. And I love that you highlight how important it is for us to implement our own self care and self review to make sure we're staying on top of it. Um,
Yes.
would you I guess I also want to know with the aggressive process of it, I've heard people say they have been cured or delivered or healed from breast cancer. Is it
Mhm.
something that you can heal from, or is it something that you have to be conscious of and manage, like diabetes?
Well, the word of God tells me it won't return a second time. So I just believe the Lord that some people will get cancer even in their other chest wall. But my doctor informed me that cancer grows on fat cells. So at that time, he asked me, he said, "You need to lose weight." And that's what I begin to do. So I've taken off 130 pounds since then. And I still believe on the word of God. Every year, I still get my mammograms. Everything is fine. But everyone, it doesn't happen like that. You know, a lot of people can't, breast cancer will come right back. And I'm a firm believer that you don't have to wait till you are 40 or 50 to start getting mammograms. It is young people who are in their teenage and 18 years old that's catching and having ma- uh, breast cancer. So you
Mhm.
need to start, especially if it runs in the family.
hmm yeah, and that's good too because a lot of times people just don't expect it. Or the thing that I can say too, um, you have a strong belief system in a strong network of people who are praying with and for you. I think that the mindset has plays a lot to to do with it. Some people they give in or give up, or they don't take care of themselves. They don't do the follow up, and even a person of faith, you have to still use wisdom.
Right. A lot of people hear the word cancer and they just think, well, I'm going to die. That's it.
hmm
But not necessarily.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think my mother, of course, she had cancer, and I think she found out about it, and she said the same day it was another lady. They both was in the room together, and she came home. Of course, told us and everything. And I think, as about my mother, actually, she passed away from a heart attack, so it wasn't actually the cancer per se. But the other lady that was in the hospital with her, I think they said within a couple of months she had passed away
Hmm.
because they said she just had gotten so. Um, I guess she, was so depressed or whatever, kind of gave up. So I like that you are telling us how to do this, telling us your
Yes.
story, and I think it's very important for people to realize that it's a mental game too.
Hmm.
You've got to be able to withstand, the pressures of what others have been through, how it affects others. Because I think everybody's journey is different.
Yes.
Our
And
God is a healing God.
one of the questions somebody just asked, How many years have it been? I've been cancer free. I've been cancer free for over 23 years.
Wow, that
So,
is a blessing. That is a blessing. And again, I want
yes.
to. I know we say that, and I just don't want to gloss over that fact because a lot of people, when they have cancer, a lot of people when they deal with it, they don't make it as long. They have different things that happen. Like I said, with my sister, I think when they found out for whatever reason, she did just the opposite of you in the sense that her husband, well, not husband, her fiance kept saying, "Hey, you need to go to the doctor because she had this bad cough," and we know she probably had this cough for a few years. Until
Mm-hmm.
finally one day it got to the point where he was like, "Okay, you gonna have to check it out because something's not right."
Mm-hmm.
When she went, I think by the time she went, they told her that I think she had stage 4 lung cancer. And it was very aggressive. And they was basically saying, everything that they did wouldn't work. So they said, we can just make you comfortable, but nothing really worked for her. And she just kept progressively, quickly getting worse until she passed away. And even with my brother, his story was that they said we can give him medicine that would help, but the cancer was so aggressive. They said that the medication would take care of the cancer, but then once the cancer was gone, because it was so aggressive, the medication, then it would start eating on his organs. So it was like it really just wasn't. It was a lose-lose situation with him.
Mm-hmm.
So just to hear your story, I want people to know that don't let this, when you hear the cancer, don't let it's not a death sentence. It doesn't mean you're not going to survive or that you can't survive. Everybody's story is different, and I don't want people to look at someone else's situation and say, "Oh, that could be me." Instead, look at people
Mm-hmm.
like you and say, "That could be me." And that's why I'm so thankful. As soon as you said that when we was in Bible study, I was like, I've got to have her on the show because, especially now that everybody's spending this time, they're so aware of it, and that I
Yeah.
said I got to have her story because it's incredible, and we need stories like this. The Bible says we overcome by the word of our testimony.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to inject when you saying about the medication and then it got so where it didn't help, but it was eating at his organs. What medication does, you might think is helping one area, but it's affecting other areas. What it does, it undoes. So
Hmm.
you have to be careful because even they're calling back so many medications on TV. And if you take this and this, and everything else is going to happen, including death. I'm like,
Hmm.
what? But yet it's supposed to help with whatever the problem is they're trying to advertise.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. So and I think a lot of people they take medications and they don't read upon it. They don't worry about the side effects, and they don't even ask the doctors or an alternative that you can do or something. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of things that people need to be aware of. So I'm glad that you are bringing and mentioning that thing because we never would think that the medicine is going to hurt more than it's going to help.
Yeah.
You know.
Hmm.
Um, Here we have another question here. Lucy said, she said, did you go through any other illnesses while battling cancer?
Yes. I went through neuropathy with numbness in my feet and my hands. And the neuropathy was all the way up to my knees where I could not feel anything. It was so numb, and my toenails fell off 2 or 3 times. They turned black and fell off. My fingernails fell off. Um, the doctor said that was part of the chemo that was doing that, where it had me where I could not walk, I couldn't stand up. And I remember when he said, if you can stand up in this hospital and walk across the floor in your room, I'll let you go home. And I couldn't even do that. I tried it 3 times, and he said, you have to go to a nursing home and get rehabilitation so they can teach you how to walk and how to stand and cope. And so I did do that,
Mhm.
but it was an experience to go through. So how they put all them little needles in your leg to see if you can feel this, can you feel that? No, I can't feel nothing. So,
Wow.
um, go ahead.
And I'm sure that's something that even with strong faith, to know that wow, I got to learn all over again.
Hmm.
The strength it takes to do that, and I keep pointing certain things out because I want the village to know that the journey is possible. Doesn't mean it's going to be
Yes.
easy, but it is possible. And it may look bad, but you have to persevere. You have to keep pushing through.
Yes. And one of the things I kept in my spirit, and I would even tell the nurses and the people that was working with me, they would always want you to come out in the hallway and would do knitting or do this or do that with the other people that was in the nursing home. And I used to always tell them, this is not my address. So I'm not getting comfortable and getting settled into groups and participation. I'm working on trying to get better. And many a times I tried what the physical therapy was teaching me upstairs. I'm downstairs in my room trying to go over them same exercises, trying to see if I can go to the walk to the wards to the dresser. Many times they found me on the floor, but I was trying because I kept saying, this is not my address. This is
Hmm.
not my portion, and I'm not getting settled into this.
Oh, I love that because I think a lot of people do get comfortable, and a lot of people they because if they don't have that deep rooted faith, if they don't have that ability, they sit and they wait and they're not doing that extra, I say that extra care, that extra work, because you have to invest in yourself, which you want others to invest in
Yes, yes, yes. I
you.
was
And
determined I'm coming up out of this. And even when I did get in a wheelchair, I'm going to tell you, I never came out my high heels, although I couldn't even hardly stand. Because I
mm-hmm,
said, I was still, honey, I was still trying to be cute, I guess. But you know what? God brought me out.
mm-hmm,
He brought me out all the way. My doctor told me you are a textbook case. Anytime that you're in the out of the hospital for 8.5 months, every 3 weeks, being so sick and being rushed to the hospital with flesh-eating disease because my body didn't have enough red and white blood cells to fight off any of the infection. I
mm,
know God was with me. Anytime a doctor said you're a textbook case, it's some of the stuff that you're going through that I've never experienced. And I remember asking my doctor, can you give me some pills to help me lose weight? I was 275 pounds and I wanted to lose weight. He said, Miss Mary, all of my patients are cancer survivors. They're trying to gain weight.
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Miss
But
Mary, I have a question. Since you pointed out just the balance and the roller coaster experience of not only medication, but also the effects of the medication. I know a lot of people that, well, not a lot of people, but if some of my friends who have neuropathy or have struggled with diabetes and finding that balance, I'm curious to hear one, what would you suggest as a best practice for those that do have to try to find that balance? And two, your thoughts on holistic or all natural medicine.
Well, my thoughts is I have myself, I have started trying to do a vegetarian diet because meat and especially beef stays in your system for a few weeks and it's very hard to digest. And if you eat more fruits and vegetables, it will help you in the long run to survive and live longer. Now, I'm not saying it to everybody, but that's just
mhm,
me. And I started eating better, cutting out salt and cutting out sugar and cutting out breads and all kinds of things that's going to be detrimental to my health. I knew that these things had white flour in it and all kinds of stuff because the things that they're making nowadays, they're pumping all kinds of stuff in it.
mhm.
So you have to be careful and read the labels and know what you're picking up and get nutrition things that's going to be more healthy. And I even have done 5K walks. I've done it 5 times. And that's one of the reasons why I was down in Atlanta, because I did a 5K, 3 point some miles in 1 hour.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
71, I've done it.
Yes. You're living life, and I think that's a good thing. And a lot of stuff that I hear you saying is very important, very good stuff, because you're saying that you started eating better. You started, and I say it in the sense, if for your case it's true, you start eating to live and not
Yes.
living to eat. And so you made sure what you was putting in your body. You make sure, okay. And a lot of people, they struggle with trying to switch their diet because they're like, well, I can't give up this, I can't give up that. They
Hmm.
don't realize what they're pumping in their system.
Yeah. It's pop and sodas and all kinds of carbs, and that stuff is not healthy for you. You need to drink at least, I say, if they don't know how to measure it, at least 5 to 6, 7 bottles of water a day. I try to drink plenty of water to keep my system flushed out. That's another thing. If you don't keep your system lubricated, the inflammation and all kinds of things it's not flowing throughout your body the proper way when you're not drinking enough H2O. That's the best thing ever.
Right. And I know 'cause I drink lots of water. I mean, my family were like, "You drinking water again?" Because I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and I drink till I have to have my water there. Even when we take
Yep.
trips, I make sure I have something that I can drink my water because, yes. And even though that's something simple, a lot of people they don't get it. They don't understand it. And I'm like, it's not a hard thing to do. It's not something complicated. And even a diet change,
Yeah.
think about it. If I change my diet, I may add 15, 20 years to my life. That's not a bad trade-off.
Right. Yes.
Right. I
Yes.
have been told that the goal is to try to eat foods that are closest to living, meaning like plants that are freshly plucked.
Yes.
The meat that we're eating has been dead for quite some time.
Yes. And you need to shop around the perimeter of the grocery store.
Yes, I have
Around the
heard that trick.
perimeter of it. Yes, yes. Plenty of vegetables and, you know, a lot of stuff that you can have. Broccoli and or spinach and all kinds of good stuff that's there, you know?
Mhm.
And
Miss Mary, I also want to ask you, since you are a walking testimony of truth and healing, how did you get to the point of beginning to author your book in the testimony of you?
well, when my doctor told me you a textbook case, and he said in all his years of practice, he never had a person that go through so much. And so I've been wanting to write this book for 20 plus years. So I finally I'm done with it. Just have to get it published and a few more tweaks. And so I wanted to let the world know that when you got an assignment from God, even stage 4 cancer can't kill it. I have potential that God still have in me because I'm not through telling my story.
Mhm.
And the world needs to hear this story that God can bring you out 110%.
You know what I like about that is this, and I do this from time to time. A lot of times we look in the Bible and we see things, and like we'll read about the woman who had the issue of blood for so many years, and we
Hmm.
say, oh well, that was in the Bible. But here we
Hmm.
have you. You're not in the Bible. You're real time,
Yeah,
and you're surviving. You
yeah,
went through your years, but you're still surviving. And I just wish people could get back to understanding that with God, all things are possible.
that's it. Well, the word says that we are living epistles read of men. People will read your life and watch you, and before they even crack the Bible open.
Mm-hmm.
So my testimony is more outreaching to others because I can go in the grocery store and the people will see my arm wrap because of the lymphedema, because of the 18 lymph nodes that was removed that was cancerous. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I bumped in your car. Are you all right? I said, I'm fine. Well, what happened? And most of the time they say, I hope you won the fight because they think I got, I
Hmm.
said I sure did. And when they asked what happened, I'm like, oh, well, since you asked, I'll tell you my story. And they
Right.
be like, what? You've been through all of that? Yes. I've had over 6 surgeries done.
Wow.
Yes. But it's
And
all right. Like I said, Jesus was scarred.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
but you survived.
Yes.
And I think uh, we have so many people now with society, and I mean, I really think that the food we're eating and the way we do less exercise and less outdoor
Yes.
activities. I think all of that plays a part into our body not being able to be strong enough to do what it's supposed to do.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
When we was coming up, a lot of things that if we were sick, our mom gave us a little medicine or something, and we went on about our way. But now these kids were coming up with stuff. When we was growing up, the thought of a child having cancer or being born with cancer, which is unheard of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got to look back into society and see where was the change at.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
our bodies are designed to take care of itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if your body is not doing its job, that must mean that it's not getting what it needs to do its job. So that
Right.
falls on us.
Even on a personal thing, far as your bowels, you have to make sure that you are going to the bathroom regularly. Some people don't go but once a week. That's not normal.
Exactly.
Yes. So you got to, and take your vitamins and the fish oil pills, your this, to that. Keep your immune system up. Even if you don't like vegetables, you can get it's called smart green
Hmm.
powder. Mix that up and drink that. You have to have fruit and different things because your body needs lubricating. You can't
Hmm.
just sit and just, you know, let your body dictate to you. You dictate to your body. That's why I said, come on, Mary, you going to the gym today. No, I didn't feel
Hmm.
like it. But I know one thing, I'm not going to get no stronger in my legs, my knees, my joints, my thighs, and even in my mind if I just sit there and don't go for a whole month.
Hmm. And,
Yeah.
and see again, is taking that choice to live a better life. Uh,
Yes.
and we all say we want to, and we all want to do that, but do we take time out to study? And also, when I go to a doctor, I ask questions
Hmm.
and I give them specific. This is what's going on. A lot of times people go, "Well, I'm not feeling good," and then the doctor start giving you all this stuff because they only going by what you've told them. And you say, okay, I'm gonna take this. What doctor? Do I really need this? How long should I be on this? I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask questions because it's your body, and the doctor don't know your body like you do.
that's right. And I'm glad you said that because I used to be on 15 different kinds of medication. Oh
Wow.
my goodness. Two, three kinds of pain medicine, morphine, oxycodone, this, that, and the other, Neurotins, uh, um, all kinds of stuff for sugar, for this, for that. But you know what? I've taken myself off of that without the doctor's permission because I found out some of that medication will cause kidney problems or heart problems. They are just in it, making the pharmaceutical people rich. I've
Mm-hmm.
taken myself off of medications that they have prescribed. And now I'm only down to 2, 3 pills, maybe, when I feel like it.
Right. Because I really don't think some of the medicines that we are prescribed is really necessary.
It's not. It's not.
And if
And I
you
don't. Go ahead.
and if you would read, like you were saying earlier, some of the medications, the side effects is worse than what I'm going for.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you're hearing they say, you take this for this, that, and then for the next 3 minutes, they telling you all the stuff that will happen if you take. I'm like,
If you take it.
yes. So they give you this
Yeah.
pill to stop this pill, and then you this pill to counter that pill. I'm like, well, then if you're giving all these different medicines to stop and block, so maybe something just shouldn't be taken.
That's it. You got to
So,
use wisdom. You just have to
mhm.
use wisdom. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and
I'm
get to
not
know your
listening.
doctor too. Is it a doctor
Yes.
that loves just giving you medicine, or is it a doctor that want to sit and really understand what's going on with you? Because if I go in and I've been there for 5 minutes and you don't prescribe 4 different medicines, and you really want to talk to them, okay, well, do you really know what's wrong with me? Or are you experimenting? Because I
Yeah.
don't. One thing I don't do, if they say, well, take this for a couple of weeks and come back and see if it worked. No, I don't want to experiment.
No, no.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, what will we do? Let's do that now. Let's just go. Let's don't play. Try this medicine and try that. No, I don't. You can't do
Yeah.
that.
And then get 2 or 3 doctors' opinion. Just don't settle
Mm-hmm.
on one opinion. I know because they has just told a person in my family, oh, we can cure you and with a chemo pill, and we can do this and speech and therapy and all kinds of stuff and walking and talking. The man can't do nothing. It was just a, a, a rainbow dream that's selling to the
Mm-hmm.
family just to keep them there so they can collect money. And as soon as insurance ran out, they impeached him the next week. Talking about you got to find a nursing home for him. So they tell you all kinds of rainbow dreams and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not necessarily the truth. They're after the money. They
Mhm.
work for yes,
Mm-hmm. And I tell people, the better insurance you have, the less treatment you're going to get.
that's right.
Because
That's
they
right.
thinking, oh, you got good insurance, so they want to bill it. They know they can get paid, and so you just have to be careful, and you have to um, you have to speak. You have to talk to that doctor. And for me, I want to get a relationship with that doctor, so I know when I go
Yes.
in there, because my doctor, we go in and he sit and he talk and he want to know how are you feeling, what's going on. It's not just like, well, let's give you this medicine and see what happens. Give me a couple of
Yeah.
weeks, and I'll change the doctor quick. I mean, I'm paying for this service,
That's right. And
and
they are there, pardon me, they're
mhm,
there, they're trying to see you in and out within 15 minutes because
mhm,
that's what they're supposed to do. But I
mhm,
come in there with a list of stuff. This is what I'm going to talk about.
right.
And and if you can't help me and I need to go to another doctor, you
I've
know.
even been told that we can only be seen for one thing at a time.
Yeah, I have too. Yep.
You know,
Right.
I love the tips that you guys are providing the village of how to advocate for ourselves when faced with these doctors. Because a lot of times when people go into these doctor offices, we don't know. We don't know the prescriptions, the definitions, and the jargon or the vocabulary that doctors
Yeah.
speak. And so it can
Yeah.
be intimidating. And so, Village, I want to just reiterate the importance of not only the self care, self review, but also a couple of things that our leaders have shared is really getting different reviews, getting a
Right.
number of people to look and give you insight on what's going on.
Yeah.
Advocate and have a list. Talk through it with your doctors on what you're seeing, what you feel, what you experience. Ask questions and don't
Yeah.
just accept everything. Anything that they share with you, have a question for it, like an
That's
interview.
right.
And
Mm-hmm.
then research your medications. Definitely
Yes.
find out what the pros and cons are and if it's ideal for you.
Yes. And some of these doctors look like they just came out of medical school yesterday, and they're trying to tell you about your body, and they haven't even read over the charts and stuff. Even some of
Mm-hmm.
them that's in the hospital. Well, I just got on staff today and 7 o'clock. Well, then you should have been viewing everything about that patient and all of the different tests he's had done and blood work. You need to know what you know before you start coming in there trying to help that patient out or giving him any information. And I found out that they don't do that. They just come on and on staff that day and don't know nothing about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's important that's your health.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
So
I'm
it should be a relationship. We do not work for these doctors. They work for us. And so there
That's
should
right.
be a relationship, Village.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so true.
And again, you have been through um, a lot, and I like the when you say I don't look like what I've been through because we expect people to look a certain way or to look worn out or to look downtrodden or whatever, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that way. I really firmly believe that the aura that you give makes a big difference
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
when people see you down out, then oh, what's wrong, and they want to pity you, and it's like, no, I don't need that. The thing that our brother used to always say when he went to the doctor, and doctor said, you got cancer, and he said, what doc, when am I going to die? And the doctor told him at first, said, well, we can give you about 6 months. He said, well, what's the day I'm going to die? And the doctor said, well, I don't know. He said, well, if you can't tell me the date I'm going to die, you can't tell me how long I'm going to live.
That's right. Yeah.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and that was his whole thing. And he never complained the whole time. He, no matter how sick he got, he never complained. He always was, strong minded and everything. So I like the fact that you're saying you don't have to look like you're in a fight, even though you were in a fight.
Yes. Yes.
And like you said,
Yes.
you when you told people you won, I like that. I like that.
Yes. Yeah. I've been through radiation, chemo, all kinds of surgeries, wound busting open, see the
Mm.
tube in my stomach, come home with 4 drainage tubes and more surgeries and all kinds of things I done been through. And hey, I'm still here.
Yes.
The devil is a liar. I
I,
got too much potential and soul winning. Hallelujah. Got other countries I'm going to go to. I've been to Jamaica and Haiti and Mexico and different. I've still got a lot of work in front of me to do.
mm-hmm.
Amen, amen. Miss Mary, would you tell the village, for those that maybe haven't struggled with cancer or feel they're far removed from it being an issue for them, what are some reasons why they would be blessed to be able to get the gift of your book when it's available?
Well, in my book, there's um faith that comes off of the pages. Healing. There's testimonies that I have put in there time after time. Even when the doctor wanted to reduce the chemotherapy for the last treatment, I told him, give it to me full strength because I had to keep on going towards my journey to get to the end of it. And this book will inspire you if you are going through any kind of cancer, letting you know you will survive. You're going to make it. But this book will build up your faith, it will encourage you. I even got pictures in there. I got step by step every surgery. I mean, everything about the flesh eating disease that I had going in my body, and one doctor came in to examine me, and my sister Bishop Bays was sitting on the outside of the room, and 5 doctors come back in. Now what's going on? They didn't even understand, rushing me to hospitals with right through the waiting room to a room they already had prepared for me, and they had yellow gowns from head to toe and covered them because they said, we're keeping you from what we might have. And because I couldn't fight off this flesh eating disease. My flesh was actually, you can smell the flesh. They didn't understand what it was. But hey, God gave me the victory,
And
and
yeah.
I'm here to tell about it. So they need to get this book when it comes out, because this book will encourage them or anybody who is going through sickness and disease and going through any kind of a cancer. Now, this is just not for breast cancer. This is for anybody that has cancer. There's hope. You have to get connected with the God that I serve, because I asked God, are you going to see me through this? Am I going to walk through this by myself? He said, no, I'm going to see you through this. And he did just what his word says he was going to do.
And what you went through. The good thing about your book is the book will give deep, in-depth details that we haven't went through over, on the podcast, because truly, you went through so much you can't tell it in an hour. But your testimony is so needed. We've got away from testimonies, and in your
Yeah.
book is going to be able to tell your testimony. And I do believe people are going to get hope from it. People are going to read it and say, "Wow, I can make it," because you're giving us the real deal and letting us know it's what God say and not what man say.
Yes. Yes.
And I like that you said, if to go through the way I did, get to know my God.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Uh,
I couldn't have made it without God in my life.
say
I
that
know I
again,
couldn't.
sister.
I couldn't have made it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, it had my faith. When I remember, I ministered a sermon, and I had like a tent, and I had war clothes, army clothes on, and I said, I'm taking back everything the devil stole from me. I went in that tent and got my driver's license because I was so sick I couldn't drive. I went back in there. I tell me, here, you could take this wig back. You could take this cane back. I mean, you could take these pills back. Man, I gave the devil everything that he stole from me. I gave it back to him. And I actually had a trumpet. And I told my nephew to blow the trumpet and sound the alarm. Hallelujah. You got to tell the devil. Oh, I said in Habakkuk, the second chapter, said, blow the trumpet. And I tell the devil, halt, who goes there? Identify yourself. You got to
Mm,
tell the devil he's a liar. You can't trespass here. Mm-mm. I'll sound the alarm in Jesus' name.
And I
yeah.
love how you gave examples of exercising that strength. And not only throughout this podcast, you have shown us how to do it mentally, how to do it physically, and then how to do it verbally. So it shouts out a armor of praise. And so those
Yes.
are things that people take for granted, those abilities that we have to really exercise the power and faith that God gives us. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And plus, I hadn't had no grandkids yet. No, wait a minute. Uh-uh. I was waiting to get and my daughter, when I was had my surgery, she said, Mom, I'm having a baby. I was so happy. I came all the way back up here when that baby was delivered. I'm telling you, I was so big. I had lymphedema so bad in my legs. Her husband was rolling her in one wheelchair, and the nurse was rolling me in one. And the lady said, "Now who's having the baby?" I said, "Honey, yeah, yeah."
God is good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's so good to hear a good story, because
Yeah,
we sometimes we don't want people to know what we're going through or that we're going through. But I can't encourage you if I don't know you're going through. I can't
that's
pray for
right.
you if I don't know you're going through. And you are letting
Yes,
us know what you did. And I like the fact that you was looking at all the things, like, I still got this to do, I still got that to do. And I think those of us who are healthy need to have that same mindset. Don't just wait
yes,
until you get ill and then think, oh, well, now I should do this. I should do it while you are healthy.
that's
Like you
it.
said, you want to have grandkids. Let me have my
Yeah.
grandkids. Let me do that. And you continue, like you said, you came to see the baby born. That means that you didn't let life stop.
Mm-mm.
You can
Mm-mm.
continue living. And I want the village to understand that when you have cancer, you still can live. When you're
You
going through,
can.
you still can live. When you trust God, He said He'll do things it was impossible with man. God said it's possible with me. And so
Yes,
you're showing us your living testimony. 'Cause I think a lot of times people they want to hear the sad story, and that's what they do.
yes, yes,
We're changing the narrative with Miss Mary. We showing
yeah.
them, look, no, things are different.
That's it. And I got a funny story to tell y'all. I came up here from Delaware to the Azusa. No, well, it wasn't the Azusa. It was to Carlton Pearson's church.
Hmm.
And he was praying for me. And I was sharp that day. Wig, hat. suit, everything. And he was laying hands on me. And he was rocking me back and forth. Father God, touch her in Jesus' name. Because I told him I had cancer and stuff. And he was praying for me. So I slipped my hand up to the wig at the bang. And he was just rocking. So I whispered in his ear. I said, be careful. You're going to make my wig fall off with this hat. And I'm bald up under here. That man stopped praying. He cracked up. I'm trying to hold on to the bang because the wig and the hat is slowly moving back. You know, I said, well, you can't pin it to your scalp. I mean,
I
yeah,
love your spirit because you're showing that you see you're still happy. You still, the Bible said the joy of the Lord is your strength, and you're showing us how you took the joy of it. Because that was a moment that probably made him laugh, made you laugh,
he
and
cracked up.
it's a release. See, we
Mhm.
don't
And you know what?
understand.
Laughter is like a medicine anyway.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah, and we don't understand that, but the Bible says that.
yes, yes,
Yeah. So I want you to keep smiling because your story is powerful. And again, like I said, we've taken testimonies out of the church.
yeah,
Now everybody's trying to impress people with who they are and where they are. But
yes,
I'm more impressed when I hear where you came from.
Mhm.
Give me your story.
yes.
I don't need to see all the glory because only God can get the glory. But
That's
tell me
it.
your story.
And my story is I came from a nursing home, from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane and back to my high heels, which I never got out of. Hey,
And
so I got my praise on now for sure.
Yes. And
the
Village, this is
yeah,
23, 24 years strong of being cancer free. And at
Yes,
that point, she was put in the nursing home in the wheelchair. This is some Benjamin Button going backwards and getting to her youth and living it full. I love it.
yeah,
yes,
and again, when we say stuff, we don't want to just flow over it. When when you're in a wheelchair and then you have to use a cane, that means that you have to go through that progress of. See, a lot of people, they get up in the morning and run to what they do, and they get up and run to the
yes,
restroom and they run to get something to eat. And you get up and you have to get in a wheelchair.
yes. Well, they had to put me in one because I couldn't get up and walk myself.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Think about the pain you must have been in, and think about how you
yes.
had to go through so much because you got to wait for people to wait on you or to help you to assist you.
Yes. The
But
pain was so
mhm,
great, Pastor, till when I was in the nursing home, they put a bar up across my feet because I had neuropathy so bad till it pained so bad to have the sheet touch my toes.
mm,
They put the bar up there and put the sheet over the bar so I can cover up. That was
yeah,
some pain.
and I want people to go back and what study and look up neuropathy is not it's not nice at all.
No.
I mean, that is so pain. I mean, that's not just your average pain. That's a nerve pain.
Nerve pain. I was taking 1,000 milligrams twice a day.
Mm,
Then I went from 1,000 to 800, and then I went down to 300, and then I just cut my own self off of it about 4 years ago.
mm. That's amazing. It can be done, people. Don't give up. And I know that the doctors went to school, and I know that the doctors being trained, but they're also being programmed to keep you in the loop.
Yeah.
That's part of their teaching and their programming is to keep you coming back and to keep their hands in your pocket. So don't think just because it's a doctor that everything that they say is true. That's why you say get a second opinion. Make sure because I've known people who said I went to this doctor, they said one thing, and then went to this doctor and they said another thing. So
Yeah.
it's important
It
to
is.
know what you're dealing with, to know what you're going through, and
Yes.
take control of your life. Take control
Yes.
of your life. Don't like my brother used to say. He said I got cancer, but cancer don't have me.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
And I see
And
this beautiful story from
yes. And if I know what I know now, which I have stopped. My cancer doctor wanted to keep having more surgeries on my body. But I
Mm-hmm.
said, I had enough cutting. I
Mm-hmm.
had enough of it. The Bible speaks about being flesh, being cut. And so whatever she needs to do now, I'm going to make heaven with this body.
Yes. Well, you've already beat the odds, so I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for you to take the time out to speak with us, because more people need to hear your story, and more people need to realize that um, when we serve a God like the God we serve, that all things are possible, and you
Yes,
are a walking miracle and a walking testimony. But I want people to also to realize that God is not out of miracles.
that's right.
You
Hey,
know, if he
that's
did it
right.
for you, he's not a respecter of person. So that means he can do it for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you can give them that encouragement. So when your book come out, let us know so I can get a copy of it, so I can bring you back on and we can talk about it. Because
Okay.
we want to share your story with the village, not just today, but going forward. See, again, I'm one of those people that don't think we should take one day. I don't let Hallmark or man calendar tell me when to celebrate the gift that
Yeah.
God has given us.
Well, I want you to know I got 8 grandkids now.
Look at God. That's
23, 22s, a couple of 22s. Yeah. So
a
thank
blessing.
you.
That's a blessing. Yeah, and you're a blessed person. And again, I appreciate you. Now, let me ask you this, just in case somebody else want to get in touch with you or know more about your journey. How can they get in touch with you?
Mary Chantre at Facebook, or yeah, email, telephone number. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I
I
gave you my email already. Mhm.
okay, because sometimes people like to reach out just for inspiration or whatever, and you like I said, I want people to know what they say, what a survivor look like.
Hey,
It's not what man dictate. It's not what the world say. It's Mary. That's a survivor,
that's it.
and that's a blessing. I mean, I really want to express how much we thank you, because your story is powerful, and I mean, 23 years
Yes,
you're still here because you said you have a purpose. And I tell people, if you have a pulse, you have a purpose. If you have a purpose, God is going to use you.
yes, yes,
And
yes,
I like that. And you've got the whole package. You're evangelist. You're mentally intelligent. You've got wisdom. You know how to apply it and how to use it. And you just take all of that God has given you. And like you said, you didn't accept the lies of the devil.
no. Mm-mm.
You
Well,
spoke
my
truth.
my sister tells me, and it is in my book. I never met a stranger.
Right.
My theory is I would talk to a dead man if I think I can help him. Now the world might be saying, "Wait a minute, how you going to talk to dead people?" No, people are dead walking in sin. No
Yes.
matter what, I talk to people I don't even know. Just I'm just a people person, and I'm just an evangelist. I talk to a lot of people.
Mhm.
I have a book of unsaved souls. Got a name to go in there today to put in there. Yeah.
Well, we
I was
supposed to.
down there in
Mhm.
Atlanta trying to tell people to come to New Birth Ministries in Decatur, where Bishop Jimmy Lee's church used to be. And I had
Mhm.
just got off the plane and I was in Publix. And I had to ask my sister, now, wait a minute. She said, you sending them to another church. Our church is in Stockbridge. I said, well, hey, my heart was right.
Yeah. God will
Definitely.
guide them where they need to be.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like the fact that you have such a humble spirit and a evangelistic spirit. That's what's missing in the church today. We need more people to evangelize. We need people to
That's
quit
it.
trying to get the big titles and the bishops and the no, we need people who are going to evangelize and spread the good news, because that's what
Yes.
the world needs. That's
Yes,
what the world
my
needs.
church wants to take the city of Tulsa. We're gonna go through the city and streets of Tulsa and claim Tulsa back to the hands of God. The
Yeah.
Bible Belt. Yes.
Yes. Well, when you get your book out and it's published, let us know,
I will.
because we definitely want to bring you back. We want to talk about the book and everything, because I want to tell you a whole story. So once you get the book, I get the book, I will read it, um, and we'll go with it. So I'm excited. Again, I just want to thank you for taking your time out, because I know it's 7 o'clock here, so I think it's 6 o'clock your time now.
Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
even to adjust to come on our show on our time, that right there speaks volumes. So we do appreciate it. We thank you, and the village needs you to be, I mean, there's so much you have to offer the village, and that's what I want
Praise
people to
God.
know. You don't have to be a politician. You don't have to be into the social media. You don't have to be into the movie.
No,
Everybody is important and brings something to the village,
that's
and
right.
we need to get back to that village concept. So that's what we're doing. We're bringing in people who can add to the village, because especially now there's a lot of younger people who are not strong as you are, and they need to know,
Right.
yes, you can fight that
Yeah.
battle. But people need to
And
know that.
yeah. And a lot of people ask me, they say, Miss Mary, I haven't seen you in a long time. What you been doing? You know what I tell them? I run for president, but I ain't win. They be like, what? I'm president of my own company. What?
Yes.
I
Yeah,
didn't
ain't
say
no
I'm
wrong with
president of the United States, but I'm president.
That's it.
Mhm.
Claim it. Walk in what you are, and
That's right.
we have to be able to do that. So I'm thankful for this interview. It's
Thank
been
you.
very informative. Um, it's just good to know that we still have good people. And I come from the old school, so I think we need to honor our elders as well, because that's where we get our wisdom from. That's where how we survive, because you can lead the way, because you've been there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You
Thank
know,
you.
so we
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for having me.
Oh yes, it was our pleasure. We're just very thankful. You have something to say, Anna?
No, I was just saying thank you for the testimony, for the knowledge to the village, the importance of a couple of things being weight management, annual mammograms, checking on ourselves, and checking our doctors and their knowledge, and making sure we understand and ask the questions and are courageous in our own health and wealth.
That's right.
Yes. All righty, and well, we've had another pleasant, inspiring moment. So I'm very thankful for that. I want everybody in the village to know that we continue to reach out to those in the community. And if you have a story or testimony or something that you want to share, just get in touch with us, and we'll bring you on, because we bring everybody on, because everybody is important to us.
That's right.
Everybody's a part of the village. So we're thankful. We thank you again, Mary Chantre, evangelist, cancer survivor. We're so thankful that you wear those titles with respect and honor. That you want people to know more about your story than your glory, because we say all glory
Yes.
to God. So that right there is it speaks volume within itself. So who you are and the character that you have. So we again thank you, and we will continue to reach out to you. And like I say, when your book come out, we're going to definitely. Bring you back and talk about the book, let people know how they can get it, and we may even have a free books to give out to people. You just never know how
Yeah.
we can get
Yes.
there.
Yes.
We want to
All
spread
right.
good news.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, and we will be in touch. And you have a good day now.
Okay. Bye.
Mhm. All right, everyone. This has been another good, inspiring episode. Very encouraging. I want everybody to know that we have had fun today with Evangelist Mary. I hope people got all of the golden nuggets that she dropped, all of the information that she gave, and learn how to be a survivor themselves.
Hmm. I
So,
like that. Be a survivor. Learn how to be a survivor.
yes, yes. So, again, this is Pastor Lorenzo Evans and my lovely co host, Ariana Turner, the communications queen. And we have had fun today. We will be back in a couple of weeks with another guest. And y'all just continue to realize that we're going to bring back the village concept. We just
Mhm.
can't let it go.
Yeah.
And one person at a time, we can continue to build up until we get where we need to be. So with that being said, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a blessed weekend. And we will see y'all in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.